Hello, folks. So today I will speak about the trends and themes for 2025, just to give you a taste of what we can expect this coming year. Of course, what transpires largely depends on your moon, your lagna, and the dasha sequences applicable to your chart. So let's talk about your sign and how does it fare in 2025. All right, so before getting started, I wanted to make an announcement. I have done so in the past, but I'm going to do so again. I have created two courses. One is a basics course in Jyotish, and the other is an intro to Gemini astrology. Basics course covers topics such as nakshatras, planets, signs, houses, elements, gunas, divisional charts, and a bit of Vedic philosophy. The second one is all about Gemini astrology. And after going through it, actually, you will have like a working knowledge, a firm knowledge, because I've included tons of example charts. Yeah, they're both comprised of 4 PowerPoint presentations each. So I'm going to link it here for you to go and have a look and purchase the course. Yeah. And of course, I wanted to wish everyone a healthy and successful year. So let's speak in detail about 2025 now. Now, first thing, from the months March end till May end, and those who are following astrology already kind of have a hint of this, but those 2 months, from the end of March till the end of May, the entire astrological landscape changes for everyone. These 2 months are going to spark a new direction, a new life chapter, life shifts, surprises, and massive growth, actually, for some people, right? Because all of the slow-moving planets are shifting in those 2 months. If you've been frustrated in some area of your life, you can expect a change in your fortune. Yeah? So let's talk about what zodiac signs get activated in 2025. This year, the concentration of energy is in Aquarius, Pisces, Taurus, and Gemini. So of course, first thing, you need to see if there are any planets sitting in these signs for you, right? Because they're going to get energized. And second, of course, you need to see what houses, where do these houses fall in your chart? Even if there are no planets there. So the dual signs are going to experience life shifts for sure, right? Who are the dual signs? Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The water signs are in focus in the first half of the year, and the air signs take prominence in the second half of the year. And the first half of the year actually looks very different from the second half of the year. Mars will start the year in the watery sign of Cancer. From as early as February, we will see all of the planetary alignments gathering in Cancer. And by March, the big Saturn transit will also occur here, right? Jupiter remains in Taurus until May. And as soon as Saturn moves away from Aquarius, Rahu is going to enter its own sign of Aquarius a few weeks later and take charge. Yeah. This is a year where Rahu will take center stage, no doubt. Making it an important year for those who are in Rahu's maturity. And I take Rahu's maturity to be anywhere from the ages of like 42 to 48. Yeah. If you're having a Rahu return, this is a big year for you. If you're in Rahu Dasha, things are going to shake up for you as well. So Rahu is going to be boosted by Jupiter's aspect, by Jupiter's gaze, right? Because both Rahu and Jupiter will aspect each other for a year starting in May, highlighting the air signs for the second half of the year and into 2026. We can see Rahu operating in a positive way, bringing monumental growth in Aquarius. I mean, it's only getting aspected by Jupiter, boosting it further, right? And Jupiter is in 410 position from Saturn, giving us a little bit more stability in money matters. Saturn in Pisces can result in foreign travel, a move abroad. There could be unexpected losses, though. It could be a loss of time, your energy, a loss of material comforts, a loss of connections. There can also be dissatisfaction with family life. There will be a need to stabilize health issues with the Saturn transit, exercise routines, the food that we eat, all of that. With Rahu in Aquarius, we can experience monumental growth, especially if you're an air sign, or especially if you have a lot of planets in air signs. Or even if air is falling in like Kendra for you, right? In your Kendra houses. Risk-taking attitudes will prevail, and an urge to move away from the past and to start new chapters is going to be really strong now with that Rahu and Jupiter movement in May, right? Jupiter in Taurus, before May, Jupiter is in Taurus, so wealth creation takes center stage, building relationships, financial stability will be of prime importance. But when Jupiter moves into Gemini at the same time as Rahu moves into Aquarius, we will actually place importance on seeking fulfillment, going after what we want, pursuing our desires, achieving our goals, right? And there's going to be rapid changes, which is what happens when air is activated. The first half of 2025 looks quite different from the second half, like May onward, when we will be ready for a new path. And people will be more like risk-taking, as I said, like perhaps more fearless in the second half. Other important dates to watch for in 2025 are eclipse times, as usual, like the movement of Rahu Ketu. Rahu's going to continue its journey in Pisces, and Ketu will transit through Virgo up until May 18th. The first lunar eclipse of the year is on March 14th in the sign of Leo, actually. So we're going to get a hint of that, a taste of that. It's caused by Ketu in Uttara Phalguni. We have a solar eclipse on March the 29th in Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapada, caused by Rahu, with Venus and Mercury close by. It's also the same day that Saturn enters Pisces, on that solar eclipse day, on March the 29th. So this is, astrologically, this is an important date for 2025, and a lot can happen. It can result in massive changes in your life, depending on where Pisces is falling in your chart. Yeah. Then there's another lunar eclipse on September the 7th in Aquarius, in Purva Bhadrapada, aspected by Mercury and Jupiter. And finally, the last solar eclipse is in Virgo on September 21st in the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni. March, May, September are probably going to be the most dramatic months of 2025. There will be important conjunctions happening then, eclipses, as well as the movement of all of the slow-moving planets into different signs, right, that occurs in the spring months. Also, we start the year with Mars retrograde, as well as Venus retrograde cycle, which is actually a big one. I'm not going to go into the details about the two retrograde cycles in this video, because I've made separate videos on both of these transits. One of them has already been uploaded, which is the Mars retrograde transit. But the Venus retrograde transit is coming up, right? It's going to come up in March, and I'm going to, in a few weeks, upload that video. It's a very important transit, right? And I'll elaborate on it further. Venus will be transiting Pisces from January the 28th till May the 30th. 4 months of an exalted Venus transit. So we know that relationships are going to get a complete overhaul. Yes. all the dual signs, the water signs, they're the ones who are going to be more impacted by this transit. People will seek more depth. People will seek more intimacy in their relationships rather than that, that trendy dating app style of communicating, but not really communicating, but not really connecting, right? There'll be a shift away from that. With Saturn conjunct Venus for 2 months, many are going to be making enduring commitments also at this time. This Venus transit will not be without complications though. We have Saturn and Rahu there as well in Pisces, right? So there will be a lot of pressure to make decisions about relationships at this time. There could be separations, there could be breakups, there could be moving on from the past relationships that just weren't going anywhere. There could be losses for some. Others can experience distance with loved ones, physical, it could be physical distance. It could be mental distance, emotional distance. Because of the Shakti yoga that's also happening with Venus and, and we'll talk further about that in a separate video, but it's happening at the same time with Rahu and Saturn conjunct. So there's excessive vata going on, right? Because those are 2 vata planets. So too much air, it leads to imbalance. And where are you going to experience that imbalance? In Pisces, where Venus is transiting as well. So it leads to forced change sometimes. It leads to sudden events. And then for others, it leads to doors opening that seem to be impossible. And for some, it can also result in disgrace, in defamation, in isolation, imprisonment, self-imposed isolation, whatever it is. Floods, oceans. We can see natural disasters such as this as well at this time, right? So it's a time of caution for those 2 months, the end of March till the end of May. Lots of travel abroad. And if you are doing that, you will enjoy it. Moving away from your current residence. That can also manifest for many people. Sleep can be disturbed though. Dreams are prophetic now, so pay attention there. You'll be returning to complete something. It could be something uncomfortable, right? But once and for all, you will complete it in these 2 months. From March till May. This is past life karma coming to fruition for some people in a very intense way. So this is a general overview of the major themes of 2025. Now let's look at the annual forecast for all the 12 signs, right? I'm going to focus on Jupiter and Saturn's movement for each sign because those are the big shifts. And I'm also going to talk about Rahu and Ketu a little bit, right? But of course, a separate video will be coming up for that movement. I would advise that you listen to both your moon as well as your rising. This is according to the sidereal, not the tropical calculation, so please check your sidereal sign. Okay. If you're new to Jyotish, you can actually check out the chart calculator on my website, and it will easily, very quickly tell you what your moon and ascendant are. So, as usual, what your dasha promises will take priority over the transit. So, for instance, your Saturn dasha, then place more emphasis on the Saturn transit. Even if you're in Saturn Bhukti. Even if you're in Saturn Pratyantar Dasha, place emphasis on that Saturn transit. According to the classics, when it comes to transit, the moon's perspective, right, should be given more importance than the ascendant. And I agree with this fully, especially when it comes to the malefics. Look at it from the moon. So, wishing everyone a healthy, happy, and successful year. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Cheers. All right, so let's start with Aries. Aries is a year where travel and a move abroad can certainly feature, right? And for those with the Aries moon, your Sati phase is about to begin. So, for the first half of the year, there's a lot of focus on money matters with Jupiter and Taurus. Saturn's aspect on Taurus from March onward, relationship and family can feel a bit strained at this time. There are malefics in the 12th house all year for you, right? First half of year, Rahu's in Pisces. Then Saturn is going to join. And then from May onward, Saturn is in Pisces. So you can feel very pressurized in these 2 months. From March end till May end, expenses can be high at that time for you. You may be planning foreign travel. You may be planning a big residential move. And then an important shift happens in May, when Rahu moves into your 11th house. Jupiter also takes its place in your 3rd house, aspecting the 11th as well as the 7th. It's time for you to take some risks, move forward in life with confidence, particularly the second half of the year where the energy actually flows easier for you. Till the end of March, 8th house is very much activated. Why? Because all of the planets are focusing on Scorpio. Still, it's been going on since May of 2024. So that still continues up until March. For some, this can bring miracles. It can bring blessings in matters of the 8th house, right? Beneficial transformations can feature with Jupiter's aspect there, especially when Jupiter goes direct early February. Sudden inheritance is possible at this time, especially before March. Financial windfall through investments is certainly possible. It's also an excellent time for research, going deeper into occult. Life-changing events can happen now that are long overdue. From end of March onward, the focus shifts from the 8th house to your 12th and 9th house. From May onward, both Jupiter and Saturn are aspecting your 9th house, Sagittarius, and both Jupiter and Rahu are aspecting the 7th and 11th houses, the Kama houses for you. So this bodes well for travel, for gains of all kinds. It bodes well for relationships. Saturn and Pisces can bring new connections in your life, those with like a foreign element to them. For Aries moon, this is especially the case, but the beginning of Sadhi is a time when you can feel restless, right? Because it's impacting that 12th house. Sleep can feel disturbed. You can also feel like a bit anxious at this time. But Rahu and Jupiter in air signs is compatible. It's compatible energy with yours. So it's going to give you the confidence to take some big leaps in your life. Second half of the year. So take time to nurture good habits, right? As Saturn's aspecting your 6th house. Connect with nature, connect with the ether element, right? Look at the sky before sunrise. This will help to manage that Saturn energy that can feel difficult in the 12th, right? Because Saturn is transiting Jupiter sign. 5th house Ketu can make you feel very aloof. There can be disruption in your studies if you're a student. If you're single, you could meet someone special with whom you connect instantly. 5th house Ketu gives penetrating insights. It gives laser sharp intuition. Also ability to do a deep dive into subjects, right, that you're learning, especially new subjects, especially languages. This Ketu transit may be difficult for relationship, though, with children, if you have them, or with students, if you have them, if you're a teacher. If you have your own business, it may be a time when you can be restructuring, like you could be reinventing yourself, right? Like old ways of doing things just don't work anymore. From May, Jupiter from Gemini will bring blessings in relationships and growth in network circles. Rahu will allow you to think outside the box when it comes to gains, when it comes to meeting your goals and objectives. In fact, both of them are working together, right? Jupiter and Rahu in the Gamma houses, in the air signs. So although Rahu could have spoiled relationship matters with its aspect on your 7th house, Jupiter's aspect will make sure that you will have blessings in this area. With Rahu impacting 11th and 7th, do read between the lines, especially with new people entering your life, right? 7th Lord Venus is in your 12th house for 4 months. If you're single, you can meet someone whilst you're traveling. Your partner could be from a foreign land, a culture. There could be some distance between you. That can also happen when 7th Lord goes into the 12th. For those who are in a relationship, a split can happen, provided it was already on rocky grounds, right? Maybe you could be dating somebody from abroad, away from your home country, right? So there's a physical distance. That's also a possibility. It can be someone where your values are very much aligned, actually. And your partner can have like a devotional quality to them, a spiritual quality to them. But it may not be a smooth connection. There's some obstacles in the way, right? Because until late May, we have Rahu and Saturn there as well. In the 12th house in Pisces. Saturn aspects Virgo and Sagittarius from Pisces, as well as Taurus. So relationships with family can feel a little bit blocked. There may be separations from family members, perhaps due to a move abroad. Jupiter aspecting 7th and 11th will help you move forward, right? Fulfilling your desires. It'll give you encouragement to go after your goals despite Saturn's position, which can cause self-doubt. Overall, it's a good year for you. September eclipses are especially promising. A brand new path can open up then. One which perhaps you've been waiting for a long time. So all the best. Taurus, what's happening for you? For you, all the action is happening in your 10th and 11th house, as well as the 1st house, until May. And in May, Jupiter will move into your 2nd house. So it's actually an excellent year for you. Lagna Lord Venus spends 4 months exalted in the 11th house of gains. So windfall may happen first half of the year. Some desire is getting fulfilled. Though Saturn is there, and so is Rahu. So it may happen for you in a very unexpected way. But certainly things are going to go your way because Venus is extremely strong there. But go slow, don't make conclusions, right? There are some obstacles there to overcome first. This can also be a difficult yoga for romantic connections because you may feel a lot of pressure now in your relationship, right? Especially with that Mars transit happening at the same time, right? If you have elder siblings, that relationship may suffer as well. It's a good yoga, however, for financial prosperity. And if you had any health worries, they can get resolved at this time. The best news, though, is Yogarka Saturn moving to your 12th house from the end of March, which is a big blessing, right? It's going to protect you to a great degree. It's a very beneficial position of Saturn, right? Whether you're a Taurus Lagna or whether you're a Taurus Moon. It can take you to great new heights, provided you place a little bit effort toward your goals. All year you have a good transit of Rahu. In the first half, it's in your 11th house. And then Rahu moves into your 10th house from May onward, bringing blessings. Though here you have to be mindful of your actions, right? Because they can have quick consequences when Rahu moves into the 10th house. Jupiter has been moving through your 1st house, and this could have opened up many doors for you, new opportunities, new connections, overall prosperity. Jupiter transit from May onward can bring some healing to your relationships, especially with close loved ones. But Jupiter is not the best planet for you. It's 8th lord. It will be moving in the 2nd house. So be watchful of making hasty decisions with investments, with your money. With Saturn and Jupiter aspecting your 8th house Sagittarius from May onward, you can be sure that there will be some unexpected gains, however, for you. It can also mean unwanted surprises, though. Right? And Taurus doesn't like unwanted surprises. The area of challenge this year can be felt in relationships, especially marital relationships, particularly in the first half of the year. With that Venus in the compromised position, your Lagna Lord, and a difficult transit of Mars, right? Starting the year in retrograde, in Cancer. So this can be harmful to the partner and also your relationship. So be watchful of what you say. Mars also transits through your 2nd house in the early part of the year, which can bring fights with partners. But the entire year you have a supportive Jupiter transit for family, for relationships, for finances. So that's going to actually balance things out. The Venus transit, especially the retrograde transit in March and April, will also bring changes. It will allow you to reinvent yourself in some way. You may feel pressure, though, coming from all the directions because Venus is traveling your 11th house with many planets. I'm going to talk about that in further detail in the Venus video. But by May, the pressure would lift and you would come out new and improved. A new image, a new career, a new business, even just a new attitude. Just a new attitude will support you for the 2nd half of the year. It seems it's a change that you'll be pleased with, right? Like something in your personality and image will like shift for the better. Saturn in the 11th from March onward is a monumental time for anyone, but especially you. Saturn is such a favorable planet for you, right? It's here for the next 2 years. It's time to make your mark in the world. And Rahu is also supportive in this regard, right? It'll make you work hard, but the time you spend in your career and image will be very rewarding for the next couple of years. Actions you take now are creating karma with this Rahu and Saturn transit. Eclipses will shift to your 4-10 axis, so you can see changes with domestic life, with career. Rahu in the 10th can bring some instability in career, but will compel you to redefine that career and your life goals and put you on a better path, right, with that supportive Saturn transit, because that's going to aid in the process. So put some efforts there. Getting through the 4th can have you feeling out of sorts with your emotions. You can also feel disconnected with relationships. Sometimes it's just because of lack of feeling love or inability to express that love. There can be disinterest in home environment, dissatisfaction with your living situation. Jupiter is a difficult planet, as I said, but in the 1st house, it's going to give you support. It will bring optimism. It will bring good health. It'll stabilize relationships. And the 2nd house from May onward is going to bring a change in your financial situation. Perhaps for the better. Overall beneficial transits for you. All planetary alignments favor you this year. It's a great year for you to make your mark in the world. All the best, Taurus. Gemini, for you the 9th, 10th, and 1st houses are getting impacted. Jupiter continues to transit your 12th house up until May. Things are starting to look brighter for you, Gemini. If you've been hibernating from May onward, you're going to come back into visibility. Saturn makes it to Pisces in March, bringing focus on your place in the world, on the actions you take, on your career. It's a time where you will have to work hard. You may not see the rewards quickly, though, especially for the 1st half of the year. Saturn here, however, will transform your career. It will transform your relationships, right? Both Jupiter and Saturn aspect Sagittarius this year, which is your 7th house of relationships. Venus is also in your 10th in your 10th house in Pisces for 4 months in the beginning of the year. And it's going to completely help you to reinvent yourself, your image, in positive ways. Venus is a good planet for you. It's 5th lord, transiting 10th house. It will bring money. It will bring recognition. It will bring opportunity. So watch for some struggle here. Things may not be as they seem, right? After all, Venus is with 2 malefics, transiting there with Saturn, with Rahu. Wait till Venus retrograde phase ends in April to make any firm commitments, right? Beginning of year, Jupiter in 12th can bring some soul searching months for you. Jupiter in your 12th can also bring difficulties communicating with your partner. If you thought about relocating abroad for your profession, this would be the time to make the efforts, especially the first half of the year. A move is featured in the first half of the year for many of you, if it hasn't already transpired in your life. Rahu's been transiting 10th house, which could have brought some instability with career, but may have placed you in situations to try different career paths as well. It's a transit that would have compelled you to redefine your life goals, your career goals. And now with Saturn's transit in Pisces, you'll need to get serious. You'll need to get committed in this area of your life. Jupiter's transit from May onward is going to aid you immensely in this process, right? Because then Jupiter moves into your first house, into Gemini, which is a fantastic transit for you. With both Jupiter and Saturn in your Kendra houses, you will get all the support necessary to redefine, to reinvent, and to put solid structures in your life for a long time. Jupiter in the first house is a blessing as it aspects the Dharma Trikona. It's a fantastic placement for Jupiter for anyone, even if it's not the best planet for you. It gives you confidence. It gives you opportunities to create, explore, reinvent your life in a significant way. It also gives blessings to the 7th house of relationships. Overall, it's a good year for you to put some stable structures in your life, right? Including relationship, home, career, everything. All the best to you. Cancer, what's happening for you? All the activity is happening in your 8th, 9th, and 11th houses. And Jupiter is moving into your 12th house in May. This year spells some relief for Cancer Moon, right? Who have been enduring that difficult Ashtama Shani transit. This could have resulted in some sudden career shifts, fluctuating finances, and this continues till March, the end of March. From then on, Saturn transits your 9th house, which can have you thinking about foreign travel. Saturn here can open up opportunities abroad. So try to get out of your shell, the comfort zone. It can help you move abroad if you've been thinking about doing that. It'll bring changes in your belief systems. Relationship with your father may go through some turmoil, though, some shift. Could be father's health, not in the best place. You may relocate. If so, adjustment to a new country or city can feel draining with this Saturn transit, right? So it's best to wait until after May, if possible, to make those big shifts. It's a year where you can be learning a new subject. A new philosophy, especially if it's religious, spiritual, some kind of higher studies can feature this year. Venus is transiting 9th house for 4 months, starting January. You can undertake a new educational endeavor at this time. Travel can feature. If you're single, you can meet someone whilst you're traveling. It's a good time to look into moving abroad. Investing in properties on distant shores. There can be conflicts with mother, though, at this time. Perhaps maybe there's a disagreement with your partner and your mother. Something like that could pop up. So if you're single, it's a time when you can meet someone special. If you're married, you would be more engaged with your partner. Ketu in the fourth could have had you feeling out of sorts with your emotions, and disconnected with all relationships due to a lack of feeling love. It could have been because of a bad experience. It could have been just a disinterest, a disconnect with your own emotions, actually, right? There could have been a disinterest in your home environment or some dissatisfaction with your living situation. From May onward, the eclipses are going to move on to your 3-9 axis, which is less troublesome, right, than the 4-10, where they've been for over a year. Rahu transits 9th house from May onward, and being its own sign of Aquarius, it will open up new belief systems for you. It will change your perspective. It might change your attitude on how to, cope with different things in your life. It will give you opportunities to travel to places that you've been meaning to go to, but just haven't had the opportunity or the time. With this Rahu transit, you'll be questioning your beliefs surrounding your own religion, spirituality. It could have you digging deeper, looking for the meaning of life. You could also be faced with an unexpected event that makes you question your faith at this time. Ketu in the third will mean that you won't feel the urge to connect with others as much, especially when it comes to small talk, especially when it comes to social media. That can feel draining to you. Relationship with younger siblings can feel distant with Ketu there. You may be second guessing yourself in that area. It's a time when you can do something on your own, either become independent via career, start your own thing, or in some way get independent from your family. Launch a business. Entrepreneurial initiatives are good now, resulting in promising results. Especially the September eclipse, you can see progress in this regard in your life. Jupiter has been transiting through your 11th house, which is excellent for money matters. Considering it's Taurus, a new stream of income could have opened up for you. If not, it can still happen, right? Because Jupiter will be there till May. It would have also helped improve your relationships. Those who want to marry or meet someone special, this would be the time to circulate, with Jupiter's aspect on its 7th house up until May. Jupiter's movement in your 12th house could also bring significant other from May onward, particularly through travel abroad, as I mentioned. Jupiter in 12th will help you change or recreate your home in some way. So a move abroad, really, like travel and moving abroad is featured for you this year. If you're not moving, certainly travel is featured. Certainly foreign connections are featured. That can be very beneficial for you. Jupiter in 12 can help you recreate your home also in some way, right? Finances can be up and down this year, especially from May onward. The eclipses move from the 3rd and 9th to the 2nd and 8th for you from May onward. Eclipses shifting to your 2-8 angles means that finances, relationships are getting redefined. They're getting redefined. You can feel a little bit aloof towards family members at this time. Rahu in the 8th can make you feel anxious at times. It can make you feel unsettled because sudden events transpire. So harness your stability through like a spiritual practice. That's your best bet. You may also consider a spiritual pilgrimage this year, which would be very beneficial. And it could just completely change your belief system. It can give you hope in areas that you just didn't felt hopeless for a long time. It's a year you would be consolidating your shared resources with a partner if you have a partner. There could be some disagreement and change there for sure. Your partner likely has the upper hand though at this time with that Rahu in the 8th. There's a lot of focus on your 6th house as well this year, as both Saturn and Jupiter are aspecting it from May onward. If you were going through some dispute now you will get a favorable outcome. If there were any health issues, you'll find the solution with so much concentration on the 6th house, right? Jupiter's aspect there, Saturn's aspect there. Work colleagues can change for some of you. A new job could be there, right? In this regard, opportunities will come after May. The areas that Saturn highlighted transiting your 8th house, especially like up until March, especially finances, investments, they would have been like held under the microscope at this time, right? Thanks to Rahu's transit here, you can see some pleasant surprises, some twists and turns that you didn't expect, right? Perhaps an unexpected inheritance, a positive twist with your investment portfolio. That can happen, certainly, with Rahu transiting there now, from May onward. So watch for restlessness and anxiety, right? Because both Jupiter and Rahu are aspecting the Sthana houses. All the best, Cancer. Leo, what's happening for you? For you, the 7th, 8th, and 10th houses are getting activated. And then from May onward, the 11th house will get activated. So this year, Saturn and Rahu exchange positions, right? Rahu's position improves as it performs better in Aquarius, being an air sign. That's Rahu's own sign as well. But Saturn's position becomes more difficult for you. It's a year that you can undergo some big life shifts due to Saturn's movement into your 8th house, especially for Leo moon and especially in career matters. You can experience some big shifts in your reputation, your image. Do not be surprised if you decide to leave behind many things in your old life, including relationships that are not working. You may try a completely different approach to your life and do something that like you never planned to do. Right? Saturn in your 8th can mean some restrictions, though, when it comes to matters of money, finances, loans. So be cautious in your spending, I would say. Saturn in 8th, usually the transformations are slow, where you would have thought about the changes that you want to make. Unlike Rahu, it just kind of out of the blue brings that change. Something you've been hoping for will finally manifest. Because both Jupiter and Saturn aspect your 5th house from May onward. And this is when things will look up for you. There will be some turbulence from March end till May end. And with that Venus's long transit in Pisces, you may be faced with some surprises in your career as well. Your image can go through a makeover at this time in the beginning of the year. You can also experience a financial windfall, especially through family, through inheritance, through investment that you've made. Your in-laws and spouse can help you through any obstacles that creep up at this time. If you're in a service-oriented profession, then you'll be able to perform very well, especially if it's some way like helping women, or in some way if it's healing others. Fantastic for that Saturn transit. It's a great time to advance your learnings in occult, in astrology, in any healing modality. A time when if you're a research-driven person, or if your career is research-driven, you can see some breakthroughs, have some aha moments. With both Jupiter and Saturn aspecting Sag from May, and your luck will see a turn for the better, as I mentioned. This is also when Jupiter enters your 11th house. Right? At the same time, Rahu makes it to your 7th. So things can manifest very quickly for you at this time in the month of May. Rahu here is powerful, and it's going to aspect your 11th house of gains, 3rd house of entrepreneurial activities. So excellent for those who are self-employed as well. Relationships will, of course, undergo a deep transformation, right? Because it's effectively 7th Lord in the 7th house. Actually, isn't it? If you had a breakup during that Saturn's transit in the 7th, now you will be spoiled for choice. New people will enter your life in droves. Go slow get to know others before making final conclusions, before making final commitments, because we're talking about Rahu here, right? When Jupiter enters in May, when Jupiter enters Gemini in May, it will aspect Rahu. It's going to bless that 7th house. So for those that are looking to form alliances with others, it could be business partnerships. It could be marriage. It could be a serious relationship. Any kind of serious commitment, this would be the time, right? From May 2025 onward. Jupiter in the 10th house till May can put some pressure on your career life. You may have had to leave behind an old job unwillingly. It could, however, result in a complete overhaul. It could have resulted in a complete overhaul of your domestic life. And I kind of fluctuate between could and could have, because that Jupiter transit is still going on up until May. So this focus on Scorpio, on your 4th house, continues. And it's something that you will continue to think about until the end of March. Changes that would have been long overdue will manifest. This Jupiter transit is also good for money. It's good for investments. It can help you connect with family, especially family from your early upbringing. People from your early upbringing. Rahu the 8th could have had you feeling anxious at times, unsettled, sudden events transpiring. And that's going to continue. That theme is going to continue up until in the beginning of the year, especially those 2 months in the spring. So harness your stability through a spiritual practice. That's your best bet. You may consider a spiritual pilgrimage as well, which is excellent for Rahu transiting the 8th house, especially because it's Pisces. Eclipses continue in your 2-8 angles, which means that finances, relationships are getting redefined, especially family relationships. It's a year you could be consolidating your shared resources also with partner or with others, whomsoever that may be. There could be some disagreements and changes here. The eclipse axis changes to your 1-7 axis from May onward. For the second half of the year, the focus is on others. Friends, networks, spouse, partners, colleagues, community circles, all of it, right? That's where the energy will flow. And this will be from where you will see like growth and progress as well in your life. Because that other landscape is going to change for you from May onward. With Ketu in the 1st house, be mindful of your health. Slow down where necessary with self-care. Ketu here will give you a penetrating insight into others' minds, and it also gives psychic powers, a sharp intuition. So yes, there are others coming into your life, but you will be able to sort of suss out very quickly what is their role in your life. Confidence may feel low at times with this Ketu in the 1st, and you may have to give way to your partner's plans more than usual. All the best, Leo. It's actually an interesting year for you. Virgo, what's happening for you? For you, the 6th, 7th, 9th houses are activated, and the 10th house from May onward. You're also hosting the nodes in your 1-7 angle up until May. You still have a very good 6th house Saturn transit, which can lead to promotions, career growth, healthier routines, solving old health issues. If you're experiencing any illnesses, health issues, you could certainly find solutions with that Saturn in the 6th. It can also bring problems to the surface, right? So you can deal with them once and for all. From March onward, you have Saturn moving into your 7th house. It will make you more focused on your relationships, changing them, improving them. Good time to develop or start new love relationships leading to commitment, right? Saturn being 5th lord in 7th house. So it can convert a love affair or a love interest into a serious commitment at this time. It can also give you a more serious tone to your work. This transit can make you more sincere with your work, your business. That's positive. If you have to choose a new job, contemplate when switching gears, as you will have many choices. When you experience that Shopit yoke, right, from March end till May end in your 7th, with Rahu there, this can be difficult, and this will result in some struggle, some obstacles. It could be some breakups, dissolution of relationships also. Situation improves when Rahu moves into Aquarius at the end of May. Here you will have an excellent Rahu transit in your 6th house. Saturn can operate alone in your 7th house. Rahu in your 6th is a supportive transit. You can find solution to long-standing conflicts, problems, health matters. And if your relationship went through a breakup or separation, now you can make amends and heal that relationship from May onward. And if it's not possible to heal it, then a new relationship is definitely on its way with these two powerful transits of Rahu and Saturn. At this time, you also have Saturn entering your 10th house. Jupiter entering your 10th house at this time in May, right? With Saturn in your 7th, Jupiter in your 10th, and Rahu in your 6th from May onward. This bodes for an excellent phase to put down stable structures in your life that can be there for a very long time. So things do improve for you the second half of the year. First half of the year, with so many transits happening in your 7th house and Ketu in the 1st, you can feel a lot of pressure coming from others, from all corners. And relationships can feel heavy. They can feel demanding. Like especially those 2 months, like from March end till May end. At this time, Jupiter's transit in your 9th house is a blessing to manage any stresses and any strains that you experience, right? Spiritual practices, travel, learning new subjects will get you through it. Self-care is important too, right? With that Ketu in the 1st house. Rahu in your 7th till May continue to shake up relationships. For singles, it can bring very potent attractions because Venus joins there also. Ketu in the 1st can also bring very good insights, especially with Jupiter's aspect there. Long 4-month transit of Venus in your 7th from January end till May end will actually shake up your marriage or partnership. There can be extramarital affairs, there can be breaks, there can be separations, there can be disputes. For single people, there will be mixed signals, sudden changes in your connections. People may appear out of the blue, but then they can just disappear just as quickly. It will, no doubt, bring potent attractions with Rahu and Venus Yuti in the 7th house in Pisces. So be ready for a shakeup there. It's 9th Lord in the 7th house, right? 9th Lord Venus in the 7th house, making it very burden with that, with the 7th Lord. So you may be meeting someone from a foreign background whilst you're traveling. From abroad. There could be traveling in your home country, someone with a difference in your religious and religious background. But spiritual types, also wealthy people. Women will be helpful to you and can open up doors. But I would say wait till Venus moves direct to make any commitments at this time. Saturn's transit in Pisces will help you there in the 7th house, right? Rahu can cause some fog, some confusion. This can impact your relationships, business, alliances with others that you work with or do business with. Things improve for you May onward when you have a supportive Jupiter and Saturn transit. So make the most of it. Forge ahead with your plans with confidence. From May onward, you have a great nodal transit as well. As I mentioned, Rahu in the 6th. Jupiter's not in the best place in the 10th. But it's going to give you some peace of mind and create opportunities for property ownership or for moving. Saturn in the seventh will help you make long-standing, enduring commitments. So overall, excellent year shaping up for you after you get through that turbulence, right, of the potentially life-changing spring months. All the best, Virgo. Libra, what is happening for you? For you, all the action takes place in your 5th, 6th, and 8th houses, with Jupiter moving into your 9th house in May. With Saturn moving out of Aquarius in March, you can feel a relief, especially if you have your own business. If you're married, there will be improvements in your marital life as well. Family and relationship with children can also see an improvement. Saturn's movement into your 6th house is great for your work assignments, for any health issues that you are going through can get resolved. You may be feeling more peace of mind generally at this time. When Saturn moves into that 6th, you'll be hosting Rahu there as well. Not only that, but you'll have Venus moving through your 6th house for 4 months. This can be difficult. It can bring disputes, problems with relationships, with home and with business matters. Right? It's a 2-month window that can feel quite stressful for you. This is like from March end till May end. After Rahu leaves Pisces, at the end of May, this area of your life would have changed dramatically, especially relationships with your domestic partner, spouse, whatever, could have seen massive transformation. Rahu will change places with Saturn from May onward and go into your 5th house. Ketu will go into your 11th house. Ketu in the 11th house can make you very resourceful. You'll often find the means to achieve your desires. Rahu in the 5th can have you placing a lot of focus on reinventing yourself, your life in some way. Right? Rahu's aspecting the 1st from your 5th. This will make risk-taking activities appealing. More opportunities could come your way, especially if you wanted to do something creative, something on your own. Something on your own. Rahu in the 5th can enhance creativity and confidence, but be wary of quick money-making schemes or gambling. That's not going to fare well with Rahu there. Rahu here also kind of gives you like a glamorous aura. In this way, you can attract attention and the envy of others. Learn to channel Ketu in the 11th properly to manage that Rahu, right? Through social endeavors, humanitarian pursuits. It can be a powerful position to reckon with. Ketu in the 11th can also give powerful friends, connections, opportunities. You may feel a little bit disconnect though with your friends at this time and not have time for them because you're pursuing something on your own. Jupiter has been moving through your 8th house and will do so up until May. This could have brought a shakeup to your domestic situation, including your marriage, including your partnership. There could have been a separation, there could have been a break, but it could have been good for finances and for investments. Right? Like to those who did split with their partner, they would get like a good settlement with Jupiter in the 8th. May onward, Jupiter moves into your 9th house. Jupiter in the 9th is a blessing to manage any of the stresses, any of the strains that you may go through in the first half of the year. Communications with others will be pleasant now. You'll be respected more. You'll be understood more. Spiritual practices, travel, learning new subjects will interest you now. Jupiter here will give you an energetic boost in the 9th house, and you'll feel more confident, right? It aspects your 1st house, whether that's moon, whether that's ascendant. It's a fantastic Jupiter transit. Lots of activity in the 6th house for you this year, though. In the first half of the year, career and money matters could see some long-awaited changes. Stresses and strains of relationships will slip away in May. when you will be left with Saturn in the 6th and Jupiter in the 9th. Both favorable transits for you. Rahu will be transiting your 5th house. Ketu will also give you a fantastic transit in the 11th house. So this can see some old friends, connections returning to your life. Disagreements with loved ones, partners will also see a resolution when Saturn continues its transit in Pisces alone from May onward. If you recently got married, now you could agree on how to share your resources and where to live. If you recently got divorced, you can get a good settlement, as I mentioned, with that Jupiter transit. Not only does Jupiter and Saturn's transit improve for you from May onward, but at that time, Jupiter and transit are both going to aspect your 3rd house, giving you the courage to take initiatives, risks, start new endeavors, right? It's a time when you can be keen for a new path in your work, in your business. There can certainly be some gains in wealth through partner, through inheritance at this time. Overall, this year improves dramatically for you from May onward. So take time for self-care to get through that first half of the year, which can feel difficult. Yeah, all the best. Scorpio, what's happening for you? For you, 4th, 5th, and 7th houses are activated, and 8th house after May. All the planets continue to aspect Scorpio and have been doing so since May of 2024, and it's going to continue until March, the end of March of 2025. So by now, at least one aspect of your life would have experienced a complete overhaul. A decision you would have taken would have led to a life path change that may be irreversible in many ways. A complete death of an old way of doing things. It could have been a change in your status, in your appearance, in your relationship, in your image, in your lifestyle, in your profession. Saturn remains in your 4th house up until March. So you could have taken some heavy responsibilities at home, a move, or you could be doing some works at home. For some of you, this could mean like buying and selling a home. That could be the new chapter, right? Jupiter and Taurus will continue to bring blessings to your relationships and possibly a change in your social status from married to single or single to married, right? Jupiter remains here up until May. Those who want to meet someone special, this would be the time, right? Jupiter is aspecting your 11th house. It can not only help you increase income, material gains, whatever it is, but also your network circles. Also meeting prominent people. Saturn's movement into Pisces in March, your 5th house, will feel like a relief, as that 4th house Shani is difficult. It has a draining effect on your emotions, on your mental health. This would have been especially difficult for you with all this planets aspecting Scorpio. From March end till May end, there's a Shrapat Yoga happening. Conjunction of Saturn and Rahu. This can cause stress and strain, especially with your spouse or partner. It can bring unexpected surprises in your practice, if you have a practice, a consultancy, or if you have your own business. So be patient, and I would say try to avoid like harsh reactions. Especially if you have children, you can also feel tremendous, that can like add to the stress of an already stressful time. You would be tempted to take shortcuts now because the mind can be very frustrated, very restless. Venus will add to this drama, right? Because it's going to transit your 5th house for that long 4-month transit, right? Well, like with Rahu, Saturn and Venus all in the 5th house. Certainly your love life can spice up now if you're single. And for those that are single, you can be hit by Cupid's arrow at this time. But read between the lines, right? Because like let that foggy mist settle a bit with Rahu there. You don't know. Once Venus is direct in April, and Rahu moves on, then you can understand if this person is what you want to, like if this person is the one that you want to build a serious relationship with. If you were already in a relationship, it's a good Venus transit for starting a new job. Maybe like you're studying a new subject. The mind will be full of ideas, plans, desires to execute them, and you may feel overwhelmed. Especially Rahu's also there. It's an excellent transit though for travel to faraway places. Just to take a break and get away from the stress as well. When Rahu moves into your 4th house in May, your focus is going to change on your domestic life. Jupiter will also move into your 8th house around the same time. So both Jupiter and Rahu aspect each other, right? They're impacting your Moksha Trikona. Energy levels can feel depleted, and you may feel like isolating from others. Very well, it could have to do with the drama that you've been going through the last few months, right? And Jupiter in your 8th can bring some quick changes in your financial situation also. It can mean merging assets with your partner. It can mean breaking up with someone and giving them a settlement of sorts. If you recently got married, you'd be deciding how to share your resources. Jupiter in the 8th can bring a good settlement for you as well, if you went through a breakup with someone, right? The settlement terms can favor you in some way. There can certainly be sudden gains through partner, through inheritance, right? Jupiter in 8th also brings a chance to go deeper into studies, research, and those that are into occult, it's a good opportunity for that. Rahu in your 4th, May onward, can make you feel restless, right? With your home surroundings. Ketu in the 10th can give you like a complete disinterest in your career life also. Rahu here brings discontent. Rahu here brings discontent. But its aspect on the 12th can bring a sudden foreign trip. It can bring a sudden foreign relocation. So a move could be on the cards for you. With Ketu's movement through the 10th house, job dissatisfaction is inevitable at this time. If you work for someone, you'll have trouble keeping that job with this Ketu transit. You can take some risks, make some bold career moves, be fearless. This is the time for that. Yeah, all the best, Scorpio. Sagittarius, what's happening for you? For you, the 3rd, 4th, 6th houses are being impacted. And then the 7th house from May of this year. Saturn is still transiting the Upachaya 3rd house, which is an excellent transit, of course. This would have been a growth-fueled Saturn transit, which may have made you more visible in some ways. It would have been good for entrepreneurial efforts. You can gain here. And of course, this is continuing until the end of March. Any kind of competition, you would have done very well, whether it's work, whether it's sport, right? This transit is coming to an end in March, after which Saturn will enter your 4th house. Domestic life may feel a bit dull at that time. You may feel that you're feeling like you're just feeling depressed, feeling down for no reason. Right? Saturn in the 4th does have a tendency to do that. It can feel like Saturn in the 4th, it can feel like a wet blanket at times. But if you distract yourself, then you will do fine, right? Especially since you have a great Rahu and Jupiter transit coming up. Right? Saturn in the 4th can also result in heavy responsibilities at home. A move could be there. You could be doing some works in the home. For some of you, it could mean buying and selling a home this year. Jupiter starts the year in your 6th house. So many planets actually have been aspecting that 12th for you, right? Scorpio, which would have been great for some kind of spiritual pilgrimage or like foreign travel. Jupiter in sixth, though, is tough, especially for health issues can pop up. So it would be a great time to actually review your daily routine. Include time for rest, good food, exercise. Learning a new habit that can help you maintain your health. Changing your diet. There's an excellent Jupiter transit for that, right? It's in Taurus in your sixth house. Jupiter's transit into your seventh and Rahu's transit into your third from May onward is excellent. Both are great transits, and they will certainly balance out that difficult Saturn transit in your fourth. Rahu in the third promises monumental growth for you. If you take chances, if you quickly act on opportunities, this transit could also give a boost to income matters. It can bring some blessings with making new connections, with meeting new people outside of your close circle. This ninth house Ketu transit can give you the ability to explore new horizons. The need to travel, to just escape, can be strong now. If you wanted to meet someone special, make an effort. Take the initiative, as you certainly could meet someone special at this time. Someone you like with that Jupiter transit in your seventh house. It can bring actually very powerful, prominent people into your life. Jupiter transit in your seventh house from May onward will have you getting along with your partners. It will increase your chance of gains from investments. Decisions you make now will reap the rewards later, right? With this excellent Rahu transit and this excellent Jupiter transit. You can take some risks. You can also make some bold career moves and be fearless. Jupiter being Lagna Lord in the seventh is going to place more emphasis on spouse and on partners from May onward. Sixth Lord, Venus transiting fourth house. Pisces for 4 months at the beginning of the year can make you feel restless, right? Both Saturn and Rahu there can also bring some instability into the domestic life in the first half of the year. Certainly. There may be fights with a partner. Property issues, property matters may be causing you some worry. There can be a loss of peace of mind at this time. Just a loss of peace of mind over these matters, over your domestic life. There also may be unexpected expenses at home. Could be for luxury items. Right? Venus is there in Pisces. Good year for you, Sagittarius. The first half can feel a little bit challenging, but things improve immensely after May. Capricorn. For you, the second, third, and fifth houses are activated, and then the sixth house with Jupiter's movement in May. The great news is that for those who have been going through Sati, finally ends, right? Finally ends in 2025. Both Jupiter and Rahu transits will help towards building up your career and your wealth portfolio from May onward. There will be a challenging transit for you with Rahu, Venus, and Saturn in your third house. Venus is there for 4 months. Venus is your best planet. It's your Yogarka planet, right? Because it rules the fifth house. It rules the 10th house. Going through the third house from January till May, watch for communications, as this can help or it can hinder your success to a great degree. Be particularly watchful since Saturn is also there till the end of March, right? Guard against temptations of all kinds, but especially quick money-making schemes, right? As all is not as it seems with Venus, Rahu, Yuti in that third house. Short-term flings and relationships will not end well at this time. Situation improves when Rahu moves away from Pisces and into Aquarius in May. If you've had difficulties with siblings, that will also improve this year, though the relationship may feel a little bit out of sorts still. This can be a growth-fueled Saturn transit, which will make you more visible, especially if you take some chances, right? It's good for entrepreneurial efforts. You can gain here. Any kind of competition, you're going to do very well, whether it is in your work, whether it is in sport. Opportunities can come out of nowhere with Saturn transiting your third house, especially in the first half of the year. So like, take advantage of this, right? Especially those months, the turbulent months for most people, right? But that's when the opportunities can just come out of nowhere, from the end of March till the end of May. Jupiter continues its transit through your fifth house. You'll feel more optimistic, more content in life with that lovely Jupiter transit. It's a great time actually to make any changes to your image, appearance, even your social status. Especially, as I said, like those months are turbulent for all signs. But you can actually take advantage, like from like the end of March till the end of May. This Jupiter transit can bring some blessings with new connections as well and meeting new people. It can give a boost to income. If you wanted to meet someone special, make an effort and take the initiative, as you could certainly meet someone you deeply connect with at this time. Both Saturn and Jupiter are supportive. They're supporting your growth. So take advantage of new opportunities, especially before May, the end of May. Yeah. Rahu moving through your second house from May onward could see your income increase, but family and domestic issues can crop up. It's good for boosting your status. It's good for getting you noticed in your career, this Rahu transit. Ketu in the 8th. Ketu in the 8th has an impulse for chaos, right? And it can, you can easily disconnect with people and just move on, simply just based on your emotions. And this can very well happen the end of the year, because your confidence will also be back with that Saturn transiting your third house. So problems and people that you've tolerated for this long, because you felt that you didn't have any power to take any action, now you will do that. With Rahu in the 2nd and Ketu in the 8th. So if you wanted to leave behind a person or just any difficult circumstance, you can do that now. Ketu's transit here can help those who are into research, getting to the heart of matters. Being the house of occult, this transit will give a lot of interest actually in occult and trying to make sense of events transpiring in your life. You will actually seek the occult to make sense of it. And you'll be able to access it easily with this Ketu transit. It is in your 8th house, it's Leo, which is also going to give you the ability to access it. Overall, it's a good year for you. You can take advantage of this fantastic Saturn transit for the next 2.5 years. It's a time when you can make connections and take decisions that will support you for years to come. Yeah, all the best, Capricorn. Aquarius, what's happening for you? For you, the 1st, 2nd, 4th houses, and later your 5th house is getting activated in 2025. Saturn continues its transit in your 1st house up until March, up until the end of March. You can feel the strain and the heaviness, especially if you're Aquarius moon, of this Saturn transit, right? But it is coming to an end. If you are an Aquarius moon, you will soon enter your final stage of Sadhisati, and that should be less intense in some ways. Again, it depends on what else is going on in your chart. We have to see that, right? Which phase of Sadhisati is the most intense? Yes, we can say that you're going to feel the intensity when Saturn moves over that moon, but what if you have 5 planets sitting in Pisces? Well, that will probably be more intense for you, right? The mental pressure, however, will subside now, right? But you may be dealing with financial issues, issues in your family at this time. Maybe someone could fall ill unexpectedly with Saturn moving into Pisces, your 2nd house. There will be issues coming up from the past that were unresolved as well. It will be a better year, though, for other reasons, too. Jupiter enters a fortunate 5th house in May for you, which is fantastic, right? Its aspect in your 1st and 9th houses are very beneficial for creating new chapters, new connections, doing something that gives you joy. It's a feel-good, beneficial transit and a place where Jupiter performs very well. Rahu continues to transit your 2nd house in Pisces, which may have resulted in family and domestic issues. This transit could have resulted in career shifts and changes as well, especially combined with the Saturn transit, right? It's a good transit for boosting your status and getting you noticed, however, in your career, right? Then Rahu moves into the 1st house starting in May. So if you weren't visible, now you certainly will be, right? And Ketu will move into your 7th house. With Rahu in the 1st house, you'll focus a lot on yourself, your image, the clothes you wear, the food you eat, the people you associate with. With Rahu's aspect on the 5th, you may get into romantic affairs that make you stand out in some way as well. Like it could be with somebody who's famous, for example. Someone who's well known. Or someone who has high status. Right? Especially with that Jupiter in the 5th house. Jupiter and Rahu are actually working in tandem with each other from May onward, and will be for a year. Where normally Rahu brings like fog, brings illusion, and leads us astray in some ways. Now this Rahu is being managed by Jupiter, right? Which will allow you to feel more confident about the choices that you're making. Ketu in the 7th can hinder lasting relationships. Get to know people that you're meeting now at this time, especially if there are new people coming into your life, as you want to be sure that they're in fact good for you. This Ketu transit can also bring a change in your home or business, especially if it's your own business. It is a difficult transit, however, for children, but that Jupiter in the 5th will balance things out, right? Beginning of the year, you also have a long Venus transit taking place in your 2nd house. So you can meet someone quite suddenly that is quite beneficial for you, actually. A woman that is quite beneficial for you. It can be someone from the past, right? Because Venus here is with Saturn and Rahu, and it will go retrograde. It's a good transit for money matters. You can receive a big sum of money. Foreign traveling connections are really good at this time. And so are returns from past investments. Overall, this year's biggest blessing is Jupiter moving through that 5th house in May. And even Venus's transit, although it's a little bit turbulent, is actually quite very, very good for you. Hosting Rahu in your 1st house means that you can be sure that it's a year that something about your life, something about yourself will change, right? It can be a change in your status. It can be a change in what you do for a living. Right? So generally, I mean, it's just a big change in your life. Or you may take a chance, and you may also start a new chapter in a new city, a new country. So Pisces, this is a standout year for you. Your 12th, 1st, and 3rd houses are getting activated, and in May, Lagna Lord Jupiter moves into your 4th house. First half of the year, there's a lot of pressure on you coming from all directions. There's so much focus on your sign, especially that like the 2 months, right? From March end till May end, you can be the center of attention. But at the same time, you will be feeling overwhelmed with all of that pressure, with all of the attention on you. You've entered your Sadhisati phase. And you're about to complete phase 1, right? Phase 1, which is Saturn and Aquarius. But the 12th house still remains in focus with Rahu transiting there up until May. The first main transit for you is Venus moving into Pisces in late January, into your house, into Pisces. This year, Venus will be accompanied by many planets. It's a year that we have a Venus exaltation transit for 4 months. Venus is not the easiest planet for you, although it is getting exalted in your house. So it can attract a lot of, again, you're attracting a lot of attention. It's 8th Lord, Venus, in the first house. So be a bit cautious now. Be a bit cautious. It can result in unforeseen events. Don't take chances at this time, right? You have a lot of focus on your first house, especially from March end till May end, when Rahu is also there. We have that like Venus retrograde phase as well happening. So a lot is going to change in your life. For you, a lot is going to change this year. You also may be exposed to somebody's secrets. It could be your secrets coming to the surface. It could be related to your significant other, to your partner, to your spouse. It can bring sudden windfall from investments. Venus in Pisces is fantastic for money, inheritance, basically unexpected wealth that you weren't, looking out for. But there might be an obstacle in the way for you to access it. It could be that your money is stuck somewhere and difficult for you to access it. This is a problem as well. Like, for example, you're trying to sell some real estate because you need money, and that's not happening. It can mean unexpected expenses to do with a significant other. It can be expenses to do with a special event, like a marriage, like an engagement party. So you see, there's so many possibilities with that Venus 8th Lord transiting your first house. It could mean an extramarital affair. It could mean a relationship coming like out of the blue from the past. Definitely for you, this could happen. A relationship partner is returning to your life. Someone that you didn't expect, perhaps, as well. Saturn continues its transit from your 12th house up until March, and it moves into your first house. This Saturn transit can bring a major move abroad, outside your birth country. It can be connected to a relationship. Perhaps you're getting into a relationship with someone from abroad. Lagna Lord Jupiter in the 3rd house, aspecting the 9th house, also supports travel and a move abroad in the first half of the year. Jupiter's transit in the 3rd house can bring some new entrepreneurial activity, opportunities. Aspect on your 11th house can result in gains, especially during that Venus transit in Pisces. There can be big gains. Jupiter moves into your 4th house in May, bringing with it opportunities for growth in your family. Real estate investments can be good, especially with Rahu also boosting Jupiter here from the 12th house, right? A move can be on the cards for you this year. There will be restlessness. There will be some restlessness around your current residential situation. You want to change it. If you wanted to study a new subject, now would be a good time to start. Jupiter in the 4th house from May onward in Gemini. It supports educational endeavors and even entrepreneurial endeavors. It's a good time to visit your birthplace. It's a good time to go on a spiritual pilgrimage. If you marry now, your spouse can provide a very strong emotional anchor for you. Rahu in the 12th house, in its own house of Aquarius, is strong. This Rahu can bring very revealing dreams. It's a good time to turn within. You will get the answers that you seek if you do that, especially with that Jupiter's aspect on the 12th as well. Connect with nature. Connect with the ether element, which is Jupiter, which is Lagna Lord. Look up at the sky right before sunrise. Rahu in your 12th may cause some insecurities with how you share your finances, especially with your partner, right? This Rahu transit can bring some changes with your home situation, as I mentioned, especially with that Jupiter's aspect, residential change that perhaps you're looking forward to, actually, second half of the year. Sixth house Ketu will give discernment, discrimination, which is otherwise lacking with Ketu. This Ketu transit will also help minimize competitors, adversaries. It'll be easy for you to spot your competitors, people that are like going against you. You know. In fact, you would avoid fighting in arguments, but there wouldn't be any need for it because you would be quick to spot where it's coming from. Right? Overall, it's a year that you may actually be feeling like quite drained in the first half of the year. A lot of pressure, a lot of surprises, a lot of sudden events. You'll be sorting out domestic matters as well. So go slow, take time for self-care. You can feel pressurized, and the pressure can be coming from all sorts of directions, but it is a life-changing year for you. So buckle up for that. Yeah. All the best to you, Pisces. Yeah. All right, well, that's all for now, folks. Cheers.